Part 1, The Discovery. The cargo bay smelled like rust and old engine oil. Ji-won Park wiped the sweat from his forehead and looked at the stack of supply crates in front of him. Another 12 hours of work ahead and his back already hurt. This was his life now, hauling boxes on Ganymede Station, far from Earth and far from anyone who cared. He dragged another crate across the metal floor. The sound echoed through the empty storage sector. Nobody came down here anymore. This part of the station was too old, too forgotten. Perfect for a quiet day of work. Then he heard it. A small sound like a whimper. Ji-won stopped. He listened carefully. There it was again, coming from behind a stack of abandoned containers. He should have ignored it. He should have finished his work and gone home. But something made him walk toward the sound. Behind the containers, he found an old cargo pod. The door was slightly open. Ji-won pulled it wider and looked inside. 3 pairs of eyes stared back at him. Children, but not human children. They were small, maybe the size of 6-year-old humans, but their skin had a pale blue tint. Their eyes were too large, too bright. Sharp patterns marked their faces like tribal tattoos. They wore torn clothing that might have been expensive once. Now it was just rags. The children huddled together in the corner of the pod. They looked terrified. They looked starving. "Hey," Ji-won said softly. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The oldest child, a girl, pushed the 2 smaller ones behind her. She bared her teeth at Ji-won. He could see they were sharp, meant for tearing meat. These were Valti children. He had seen Valti adults before. The warrior race from Andromeda. They were dangerous, proud, and very far from home. "When did you last eat?" Ji-won asked. The children didn't answer. Maybe they didn't understand Galactic Common. Or maybe they were too scared to speak. Ji-won reached into his pocket slowly. He pulled out his lunch, a protein bar and some dried fruit. He placed it on the floor and stepped back. "Go ahead," he said. "Take it." The smallest child, another girl, started to cry. The sound was heartbreaking. The older girl grabbed the food and split it into 3 pieces. They ate like animals, desperate and fast. Ji-won's chest felt tight. How long had they been here? Days, weeks? He pulled out his communicator and called station security. The answer came quickly. "We know about them," the officer said. "Leave them alone. They're children," Ji-won said. "They're starving. They're illegal aliens. The Valti Empire is in civil war. Not our problem. Don't touch them or you'll be in trouble too." The call ended. Ji-won stared at his communicator. Then he looked back at the children. The smallest one was still crying quietly. The boy in the middle held her hand. The older girl watched Ji-won with suspicion and something else. Hope, maybe. He thought about walking away. He thought about his tiny apartment, his empty bank account, his simple life. Taking these children would ruin everything. It would be dangerous. It would be stupid. "Come on," Ji-won said, reaching out his hand. "Let's go." The older girl didn't move. She studied his face for a long moment. Then slowly she took his hand. Her skin was cold. Her grip was surprisingly strong. Getting them to his apartment was the hard part. Ji-won wrapped them in old cargo blankets and carried them one by one through the service corridors. Anyone who saw them would report him, but luck stayed with him. The corridors were empty. His apartment was small. 1 room with a bed, a tiny kitchen, and a bathroom. The children stood in the middle of the room, looking around like trapped animals. Ji-won heated up some soup. Real soup, not the cheap instant kind. It cost him a week's worth of meal credits, but he didn't care. He placed 3 bowls on the floor and sat back. "Eat," he said. Slowly this time they ate. This time they didn't rush. The smallest girl started crying again, but not from fear, from relief. After they ate, Ji-won brought them water. Then he gave them his bed. "Sleep," he said. "You're safe now." The older girl spoke for the first time. Her voice was rough and her Galactic Common was broken. "Why help us?" Ji-won thought about it. "Because you need help," he said simply. "We are Valti," the girl said. "We are enemies of humans." "You're children," Ji-won said. "That's what matters." The girl stared at him. Then she lay down with her siblings. Within minutes, all 3 were asleep. Ji-won sat on the floor and looked at them. What had he done? He was breaking at least 10 station laws. The Valti Empire would want these children. Station security would throw him in prison. And he had no idea how to take care of 3 alien children. But when he looked at their sleeping faces, he knew he couldn't have walked away. Over the next few days, Jiwon learned their names. The older girl was Hana. The boy was Minho. The youngest was Yuna. They learned to trust him slowly. Hana remained protective. Minho was curious about everything. Yuna followed Jiwon everywhere. He bought them clothes from the second-hand market. He taught them basic words in common. He worked longer hours to afford their food. Valti children ate a lot. At night, Jiwon slept on the floor while they took his bed. He didn't mind. He had slept in worse places during his years in the merchant fleet. One evening, 2 weeks after he found them, Yuna climbed into his lap while he was reading. She looked up at him with those big alien eyes and said one word in careful common. Ajusi. Uncle Jiwon's throat felt tight. He put his arm around her small shoulders. Yeah, he said quietly. I'm your Ajusi now. Hana and Minho looked at him from the bed. Something had changed. They weren't just scared orphans anymore, and he wasn't just the human who found them. They were becoming something else, something like a family. Outside the window, Ganymede Station glowed against the darkness of space. Somewhere in that darkness, the Valti Empire was tearing itself apart. Somewhere out there, people were looking for these children. But tonight, in this small apartment, 3 orphans were safe and warm and fed. That was enough. Jiwon didn't know that his simple act of kindness had just changed the course of galactic history. He didn't know that a queen was searching for her children. He didn't know that war was coming. All he knew was that 3 children needed him, and he would protect them no matter what came next. Part 2. An Unexpected Family. 6 months had passed since Jiwon found the children. His life had become very different. Every morning he woke up at 5 to prepare breakfast. 3 growing Valti children needed a lot of food. After feeding them, he went to work at the cargo docks. He took every extra shift he could find. Double shifts, night shifts, dangerous shifts that paid more. His body was always tired, but he didn't complain. The children were worth it. Hana had grown taller. She helped around the apartment now, cleaning and organizing. She was smart and learned galactic common quickly. Sometimes Jiwon caught her watching the news feeds about the Valti Empire. Her face would become sad, but she never talked about it. Minho was obsessed with human technology. He took apart Jiwon's old communicator and put it back together in 2 hours. He asked endless questions about ships, engines, and computers. Jiwon brought him broken devices from the cargo bay. The boy fixed them all. Yuna was the happiest of the 3. She sang strange Valti songs while playing with her toys. She held Jiwon's hand everywhere they went. At night, she still had nightmares. Jiwon would hold her until she fell back asleep. The apartment felt like a real home now. The children's drawings covered the walls. Their laughter filled the small space. Jiwon had never lived with family before. His parents died when he was young. He grew up in state homes, always alone. Now he understood what family felt like, but danger was always close. One afternoon, Jiwon's neighbor stopped him in the hallway. Her name was Mrs. Chen. She was old and nosy. I hear children in your apartment, she said. I didn't know you had kids. They're visiting, Jiwon said quickly. My cousin's children. Mrs. Chen looked suspicious. Your cousin is Valti? Adopted, Jiwon said. It's complicated. Station security asks questions about Valti, Mrs. Chen said. They're looking for something. You be careful. After she left, Jiwon's hand shook. Someone was searching. He had to be more careful. He stopped taking the children outside. He ordered all their supplies online. He taught them to be quiet when anyone passed in the hallway. The apartment became their world, and Jiwon became their everything. One evening, while Jiwon was helping Minho with a project, something strange happened. The boy looked at a broken circuit board and closed his eyes. His fingers moved over it without looking. When he opened his eyes, the device was fixed. How did you do that? Jiwon asked. Minho looked confused. I saw it in my mind. The way it should be. Hana spoke from across the room. We can do things. Special things. Mother said we were blessed by the ancestors. What kind of things? Jiwon asked carefully. Hana stood up. She lifted the heavy table with one hand like it weighed nothing. Yuna giggled and made a glass of water slide across the table without touching it. We are royal blood, Hana said quietly. That's why they want to kill us. Jiwon's blood went cold. Royal blood? You mean, our mother is Queen Arin, Hana said. Or she was. We don't know if she's alive. The room felt smaller suddenly. Jiwon sat down heavily. Why didn't you tell me? We were scared, Hana said. If you knew, you might send us away. Royal children are dangerous to know. Ji-won looked at all three of them, Hana trying to be brave, Minho looking guilty. Yuna about to cry. I would never send you away, Ji-won said firmly. Never. I don't care who your mother is. Yuna ran to him and hugged him tight. Promise. I promise, Ji-won said. That night after the children fell asleep, Ji-won searched the station's news archives. He found reports about the Valti Empire. 6 months ago, there had been a violent coup. The military, led by General Kale, had attacked the royal palace. Queen Aran was reported dead. Her children had disappeared. The new government wanted the royal bloodline erased completely. They were searching every station, every colony, every planet. Ji-won looked at the sleeping children. They weren't just orphans. They were the rightful heirs to an empire, and they were in terrible danger. The next day, everything changed. Ji-won was at the cargo bay when his old friend Taejin found him. Taejin Ro worked for the Terran Defense Corps. They had served together in the merchant fleet years ago. Ji-won, we need to talk, Taejin said. His face was serious. They went to a private corner. Taejin pulled up a hologram from his communicator. It showed a Valti warship approaching the station. This ship arrives tomorrow, Taejin said. It's commanded by General Kale himself. He's requesting permission to search the entire station. Search for what? Ji-won asked, but he already knew. Royal survivors, Taejin said. The station governor will let him do it. Too much trade depends on staying friendly with the new Valti government. Ji-won's mind raced. How long do I have? Taejin studied his face. So the rumors are true. You're hiding them. I didn't know what they were, Ji-won said. They were just starving children. They're not just children anymore, Taejin said. They're a political problem. If Kale finds them, he'll execute them publicly. I won't let that happen, Ji-won said. Then you need to run, Taejin said. Tonight. I can delay the security checks at Dock 7 for 30 minutes. Your ship is there, right? Ji-won nodded. He still owned the Soul's Promise, his old cargo hauler. It wasn't fast, but it was reliable. Where do I go? Ji-won asked. Anywhere far from here, Taejin said. And Ji-won? Once you run, you can't come back. You'll be a fugitive. They'll hunt you. Ji-won thought about his simple life, his quiet apartment, his safe routine. All of it would be gone. He would lose everything. Then he thought about Yuna's smile. Minho's curiosity. Hana's brave face trying not to show fear. Okay, Ji-won said. Help me. That night, Ji-won packed everything they owned into 2 bags. The children sensed something was wrong. Are we leaving? Hana asked. Yes, Ji-won said. Bad people are coming. We have to go. Where? Minho asked. I don't know yet, Ji-won admitted. But we'll be together. That's what matters. Yuna held his hand tight. You won't leave us? Never, Ji-won said. We're family now. At midnight, they moved through the service corridors. Taejin met them at Dock 7. He had disabled the security cameras. Go fast, Taejin said. And good luck. Thank you, Ji-won said. For everything. They boarded the Soul's Promise. The ship was old and small, but it was home. Ji-won had lived on it for years before settling on the station. As he started the engines, alarms began blaring. Security had discovered them. Hold on, Ji-won shouted. The ship blasted out of the dock. Behind them, station security ships were scrambling. Ahead of them was open space. Ji-won pushed the engines to maximum. The Soul's Promise shook and rattled, but it flew. They cleared the station's gravity well just as the first security ship got close. Jumping to hyperspace, Ji-won said. The stars stretched. Reality twisted. Then they were gone, racing through hyperspace toward an unknown destination. In the cargo hold, 3 children held each other tight, and Ji-won, who had been alone his whole life, realized he would do anything to protect his unexpected family. Part 3. The Hunter Arrives. The Soul's Promise drifted through empty space. They had been running for 3 days. 3 days of hiding, moving, never staying in one place too long. Ji-won checked their supplies. Food was running low. Fuel was at 40%. He needed to stop somewhere, but every station was dangerous now. The children tried to stay quiet. They knew they were in trouble. Hana helped Ji-won navigate. Minho fixed things that broke on the old ship. Yuna stayed close, always holding on to someone. Where are we going? Hana asked on the 4th day. The Kuiper Belt, Ji-won said. There are old mining stations there. Abandoned ones. We can hide for a while. And then, Ji-won didn't have an answer. That night, while the children slept, a transmission came through. The signal was strange, encrypted. Ji-won almost ignored it. But something made him open it. A woman's face appeared on the screen. She was Valti with the same blue-tinted skin as the children. But she was older, stronger, with ceremonial markings on her face. Her eyes were fierce and sad at the same time. "This is Queen Erin of House Valtar," the woman said. "If anyone is protecting my children, I will find you. I will give anything. I will pay any price. Just keep them safe, please." The transmission ended. Ji-won sat frozen. The queen was alive. The children's mother was alive. But could he trust her? This could be a trick. General Kale could be using her image to find them. He decided to stay hidden. At least for now. They reached the Kuiper Belt 2 days later. Ji-won found an old mining station that still had basic power. They docked and went inside. The station was cold and empty, but it was safe. The children explored while Ji-won repaired the ship. They were running out of time. Soon they would need real supplies. Real help. That evening, everything fell apart. 3 ships appeared on the sensors. Military ships. They surrounded the station before Ji-won could react. "This is the Terran Defense Corps," a voice said over the radio. "Ji-won Park, you are wanted for kidnapping and smuggling. Surrender now." Ji-won's heart pounded. They had found them. He grabbed the children and ran to the ship. But before they could board, soldiers burst through the station doors. "Don't move," they shouted, weapons raised. Ji-won pushed the children behind him. "Please," he said. "They're just children." "Step away from the aliens," the soldier said. Then another voice spoke. "Lower your weapons." Taejin walked through the door. He looked tired and serious. "Taejin?" Ji-won said, confused. "You led them here?" "I had to," Taejin said. "Listen to me. General Kale knows you have the children. He's coming with a full battle fleet. You can't run from him. But there's another option." "What option?" Ji-won asked. "The Queen," Taejin said. "She's real. She's alive, and she's looking for you." A new ship appeared on the sensors. This one was different. Sleek and fast with Valti design. It landed on the station with perfect precision. The airlock opened. 6 Valti warriors stepped out, tall and dangerous. They wore black armor with silver markings. Behind them walked Queen Erin. She was exactly like her transmission, but more powerful in person. She moved like a warrior, confident and deadly. But when her eyes found the children, everything changed. "Hana, Minho, Yuna," she whispered. The children stared. Then Yuna screamed, "Oma!" and ran. Hana and Minho followed. The 3 children crashed into their mother. Queen Erin fell to her knees and wrapped her arms around them. She was crying. They were all crying. Ji-won watched from a distance. His chest felt tight. This was good. The children had their mother back. They were safe now, but then Yuna pulled away. She ran back to Ji-won and grabbed his hand. "Appa," she said, using the word for father. Queen Erin looked up. Her eyes met Ji-won's. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then the queen stood. She walked toward him slowly. Ji-won didn't move. He didn't know what to expect. Queen Erin stopped in front of him. She was taller than him, stronger, clearly more powerful, but she bowed her head. "You saved my children," she said. "You gave them food when they were starving. You gave them safety when the galaxy wanted them dead. You asked for nothing in return." "They needed help," Ji-won said simply. "In my culture," Queen Erin said, "there is a sacred law. When someone saves the royal bloodline at great personal cost, a life debt is created. I owe you everything." "You don't owe me anything," Ji-won said. "I just wanted them safe. They're safe now. That's enough." Queen Erin studied his face. "You are a strange human. Most would demand gold, power, a place in the new empire." "I'm a cargo hauler," Ji-won said. "I don't want empires. I just want them happy." Yuna was still holding his hand. Minho and Hana stood between Ji-won and their mother, looking torn. "Appa stay?" Yuna asked in broken common. "Yuna, he has his own life," Queen Erin said gently in Valti. "No," Yuna cried. "Appa stay." "Appa is family," Hana spoke quietly. "She's right, mother. He is our family now. He kept us alive. He gave us everything." Queen Erin looked at her children, then at Ji-won. Something shifted in her expression. "I have a proposal," she said. "Join my resistance. Be my children's official guardian. Help me reclaim my throne. When the war is over, I will give you anything you want." "I'm not a soldier," Ji-won said. "I don't need soldiers," Queen Erin said. "I need people I can trust. And my children trust you completely. Jiwan looked at the three children. They were watching him with hope in their eyes. "If I say no," he asked. "Then you are free to go," Queen Erin said. "I will never force you, but my children will miss you. And I think you will miss them too." She was right. Jiwan had grown to love these children. They weren't just orphans he saved anymore. They were his family. "Okay," Jiwan said. "I'll come with you. But not for empires or debts." "For them?" Queen Erin nodded slowly. "That is acceptable." Yuna squealed with joy and hugged Jiwan's legs. Minho smiled his rare smile. Even Hana looked relieved. Taijin stepped forward. "I'm coming too," he said. "Someone needs to keep this idiot alive." "You'd leave the Defense Corps?" Jiwan asked. "For this?" "Yes," Taijin said. "Besides, fighting for a rightful queen sounds more interesting than cargo inspections." Queen Erin gestured to her warriors. "Bring their ship. We leave immediately. General Kael will arrive within hours." As they prepared to depart, Jiwan took one last look at the Soul's Promise, his home for so many years. Now he was leaving it behind for something bigger, something more dangerous. But when Yuna took his hand and smiled up at him, he knew it was worth it. They boarded the Queen's ship. The warriors treated Jiwan with respect, bowing their heads as he passed. Word had spread quickly. This was the human who saved the royal children. As the ships jumped to hyperspace, leaving the station behind, Jiwan realized his simple life was truly over. He was part of something now. A resistance, a war, a royal family. He had no idea how to be a guardian to royal children. He had no idea how to survive a war, but he would learn, because somewhere in the darkness behind them General Kyle was hunting, and the real danger was just beginning. Part 4. The Queen Lives. The resistance base was hidden inside a massive asteroid. From the outside, it looked like any other rock in space. Inside, it was a small city. Jiwan stood on the observation deck and watched Valti warriors training below. There were hundreds of them. Ships came and went constantly. This was a real military operation. Impressive, isn't it? Queen Erin said, walking up beside him. "I've never seen anything like it," Jiwan admitted. "How did you build all this?" 6 months of work," she said. "After the coup, loyal houses helped me escape. We've been gathering forces ever since." "Why didn't you look for your children sooner?" Jiwan asked, then immediately regretted it. "Sorry, that's not my business." "It's a fair question," Queen Erin said. Her voice was sad. "I tried, but Kale spread false information. He told everyone my children were dead. I searched every refugee camp, every station. I thought I had lost them forever." "But you didn't," Jiwan said. "Because of you," she said, looking at him. "A simple cargo hauler did what my entire intelligence network could not. You found them. You saved them." Jiwan felt uncomfortable with the praise. "I just gave them food." "You gave them love," Queen Erin said. "That matters more than food." Down below, the children were training with the warriors. Hana was learning combat. Minho was studying ship systems. Yuna was practicing her telekinetic abilities with a patient instructor. "They're adjusting well," Jiwan said. "They talk about you constantly," Queen Erin said. "Yuna tells everyone about her appa. It's complicated." "I can step back," Jiwan offered. "Now that you're here, they don't need me." "That's where you're wrong," Queen Erin said. "They need both of us. You gave them stability when I couldn't. They won't forget that." Over the following weeks, Jiwan learned about Valti culture. It was complex and filled with honor codes. The warriors respected strength but valued loyalty above everything else. He also learned that Queen Erin was not just a figurehead. She was a brilliant strategist. She personally led training sessions. She knew every soldier's name. Her people would die for her. One evening, Jiwan was helping Minho with a mechanical problem when Queen Erin's advisor approached. Her name was Nari, and she was old and sharp-eyed. "The Queen wishes to see you," Nari said. In her private chambers, Jiwan's stomach tightened. "Did I do something wrong?" "Come," was all Nari said. Queen Erin's chambers were simple. A desk, a bed, weapons on the walls. She stood looking at a holographic map of Valti space. "You wanted to see me?" Jiwan asked. "Sit," she said. "We need to talk." Jiwan sat. Queen Erin turned off the map and sat across from him. "My council has been researching our ancient laws," she said. "There is a tradition I didn't know about. When someone saves the royal bloodline at great personal cost, it creates what we call the soul bond." "What does that mean?" Jiwan asked. It means you are bound to my family forever, she said. Not as a servant, as something more. An equal. I don't want to be equal to a queen, Ji-won said. I just want to help the kids. I know, she said. But there's more. According to the old laws, the soul bond is traditionally sealed through marriage. Ji-won nearly fell out of his chair. What? Marriage to ensure the savior's loyalty and integrate them into the royal family, Queen Erin explained. It's an ancient tradition. Nari found it in texts from 1,000 years ago. That's insane, Ji-won said. You barely know me. I know you saved my children when no one else would, she said. I know you gave up your life to protect them. I know they love you. But marriage? Ji-won said. We're different species. Different worlds. I'm nobody. You're the man who fed 3 starving children, Queen Erin said quietly. That makes you somebody. Ji-won stood up, pacing. I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't. I don't want politics or crowns or any of this. Neither do I, Queen Erin said, surprising him. I told my council the same thing, but they're insistent. They believe it would strengthen our position, show unity between species. Tell them no, Ji-won said. I already did, she said, but I wanted you to know, in case they bring it up again. Ji-won nodded, relieved. Thank you for telling me. As he left, he heard her whisper something. I'm sorry. The next day, Ji-won spent time with the children. They were growing so fast. Hana could speak 3 languages now. Minho had designed improvements to the base's power systems. Yuna could move objects twice her size with her mind. Appa, watch, Yuna said, lifting a training dummy into the air. That's amazing, Ji-won said, genuinely impressed. When the war is over, Hana said, will you stay with us? At the palace? I don't know, Ji-won said honestly. Palaces aren't really my thing, but were your thing? Minho asked. Ji-won smiled. Yeah, you're definitely my thing. That evening, Queen Erin found him in the observation deck again. She stood beside him in silence for a while. Can I ask you something personal? She said finally. Sure, Ji-won said. Why did you really save them? The truth, Ji-won thought about it. When I was a kid, I was alone a lot. No family, no friends. I knew what it felt like to be invisible. When I saw those children, I saw myself. I couldn't walk away from that. Queen Erin was quiet. Then she said, I was alone too after the coup. Everyone I trusted was dead or missing. My children were gone. I had nothing. You had your people, Ji-won said. People follow a crown, she said. They don't follow a person. There's a difference. Ji-won looked at her, really looked at her. Not as a queen, but as a person. He saw the exhaustion in her eyes, the weight she carried, the loneliness. You're a good mother, he said. The children know you love them. They also know you love them, she said. That's why this is so complicated. Before Ji-won could respond, alarms blared throughout the base. Battle stations. A voice shouted, Enemy fleet detected. They ran to the command center. The screen showed dozens of ships dropping out of hyperspace. Valti warships, General Kale's forces. How did they find us? Someone shouted. It doesn't matter, Queen Erin said, her voice steady. Prepare for battle. All civilians to the escape pods. What about the children? Ji-won asked. Take them to Pod Bay 3, she said. If we lose, get them out of here. And you? Ji-won asked. I stay with my people, she said. Go, protect them. Ji-won ran to find the children. His heart pounded. They had been safe here. Now everything was falling apart. He found them in their quarters. Hana was already packing. She had heard the alarms. Is it Kale? She asked. Yes, Ji-won said. We need to go now. They ran through the corridors. Warriors rushed past them toward their battle stations. The base shook as the first weapons fire hit. At Pod Bay 3, Taejin was waiting. I've got a ship ready, he said. Let's move. But before they could board, a massive explosion rocked the bay. Part of the ceiling collapsed. Smoke filled the air. When it cleared, enemy soldiers were coming through the breach. They had boarded the base. Get the children out, Taejin shouted, raising his weapon. Ji-won pushed the children toward the ship. But Yuna broke free and ran back. Oma, she screamed. We can't leave, Oma. Yuna, we have to go, Ji-won shouted. Then the enemy soldiers opened fire. Taejin shot back. The bay became a war zone. Ji-won grabbed Yuna and ran for the ship. Hana and Minho were already inside. He threw Yuna in and turned back for Taejin. Go without me, Taejin shouted. Not happening, Ji-won yelled back. He pulled Taejin toward the ship. More enemy soldiers appeared. They were surrounded. Then Queen Erin burst into the bay, her personal guard behind her. She moved like a force of nature, her blade flashing. The enemy soldiers fell back. "Go!" she screamed at Jiwon. Their eyes met across the chaos. In that moment, Jiwon understood. She was buying them time. "She might die doing it. I'm not leaving you," Jiwon shouted. "You have to," she said. "Protect my children." The ship's engines were already warming up. The children were screaming for their mother. Tajin was pulling Jiwon toward the ship. Queen Erin fought her way closer. "I will find you," she shouted. "I promise. Just keep them safe." Jiwon was dragged into the ship. The door closed. Through the window, he watched Queen Erin and her guards fighting desperately. Then they launched, blasting out of the bay into space. Behind them, the asteroid base exploded in flames. Part 5. The Ancient Law. They drifted through space in a damaged ship. The escape had been messy. The ship's systems were failing one by one. Yuna hadn't stopped crying. She sat in Jiwon's lap, her face buried in his chest. Hana sat rigid, trying not to show emotion. Minho stared at nothing, his hands shaking. "We don't know if she's dead," Taijin said quietly. "The queen is smart. She might have escaped." "You saw the explosion," Hana said, her voice cold. "Nobody survived that." "Your mother survived a palace coup," Jiwon said. "She's tougher than you think." But even he wasn't sure. The explosion had been massive, and Queen Erin had stayed behind to buy them time. For 3 days they limped through space. They were running out of supplies again. The ship needed repairs. They had nowhere to go. Then, on the 4th day, a transmission came through. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself." Jiwon recognized the voice. It was Nari, the queen's advisor. "This is Jiwon Park," he said quickly. "We have the children. We escaped the base. Thank the ancestors," Nari said. "We're transmitting coordinates." "Follow them exactly." "What about Queen Erin?" Jiwon asked. There was a pause. "Come to the rendezvous point. We'll explain everything." The new base was even more hidden than the first. It was built inside an old comet, constantly moving through the outer system. When they docked, Nari was waiting. "Where's our mother?" Hana demanded immediately. "Alive," Nari said, "but badly injured." "She's in the medical bay." They ran. The medical bay was small and cold. Queen Erin lay on a bed wrapped in bandages. Her eyes were closed. Medical equipment surrounded her. "Oma!" Yuna cried, reaching for her. A doctor stopped them. "She needs rest." The wounds were severe, but she will recover. "Can we stay with her?" Minho asked quietly. "For a short while," the doctor said. The children sat beside their mother's bed. Jiwon stood back, feeling like an intruder. This was a family moment. He didn't belong. But Queen Erin's eyes opened. She looked directly at him. "You kept your promise," she whispered. "I said I would," Jiwon replied. "Good," she said, and fell asleep again. Over the next 2 weeks, Queen Erin slowly recovered. The new base filled with survivors from the first attack. Ships arrived daily, bringing more loyal Valti houses to the resistance. The council met constantly. They were planning something big. Jiwon wasn't invited to the meetings, but he heard rumors. An assault, a final battle to retake the homeworld. One evening, Nari found him in the mess hall. "The council wishes to see you," she said. "Me? Why?" "You'll find out," Nari said. Her expression was unreadable. The council chamber was circular, with holographic displays showing Valti space. Queen Erin sat at the center, looking healthier now. Around her were a dozen Valti nobles and military commanders. "Jiwon Park," Queen Erin said formally. "Thank you for coming." "What's this about?" Jiwon asked. An old male Valti stood. His name was Counselor Day. "We've been studying the ancient laws. The Soulbond tradition. We believe it must be honored." "We already talked about this," Jiwon said, glancing at Queen Erin. "I'm not marrying anyone." "It's not a request," Counselor Day said. "It's a royal decree. The ancient law is clear. You saved the royal bloodline. The bond must be sealed." "That's ridiculous," Jiwon said. "You can't force people to marry." "In Valti culture we can," another counselor said. "The queen could refuse, of course. But tradition is tradition." All eyes turned to Queen Erin. She looked tired and frustrated. "I have explained that this human wishes to be free," she said. "I cannot force him." "But the law—" Counselor Day started. "The law is old," Queen Erin said sharply. "Times change. Yet the people need symbols, Nari said quietly. My queen, the resistance is fractured. Noble houses fight among themselves. We need unity. The marriage would provide that. How? Jiwan asked. I'm human. Nobody cares about humans. You're wrong, Nari said. The story has spread. The human who saved the royal children, who gave up everything to protect them. It's inspiring. It shows that loyalty isn't about species or blood. It's about character. That's politics, Jiwan said. I don't care about politics, but you care about the children, Queen Aaron said. If we lose this war, they die. If we win, they need a stable empire. This marriage could help achieve both. So this is blackmail, Jiwan said, anger rising. Marry you or the children suffer? No, Queen Aaron said firmly. I would never do that. You're free to refuse, but I want you to understand what we're facing. The council continued arguing. Jiwan stopped listening. He felt trapped. This wasn't what he wanted. He just wanted to help 3 starving children. Now he was being pushed into some political marriage. Finally, he stood up. I need time to think. You have 1 week, Counselor Day said. After that, we must proceed with or without the marriage. The final assault on the homeworld cannot wait. Jiwan left the chamber. His head hurt. Everything was moving too fast. He found Taejin in the repair bay. His friend was working on a fighter ship. How did it go? Taejin asked. Terrible, Jiwan said. He explained everything. Taejin whistled. So you're supposed to marry a queen? That's quite a promotion from cargo hauler. It's not funny, Jiwan said. I know, Taejin said, becoming serious. But think about it. Is the marriage really the problem? Or is it something else? What do you mean? I've watched you with her, Taejin said. You care about her. Not just as the mother of those kids. As a person. That's not, Jiwan started. Don't lie to yourself, Taejin said. I've known you for years. I've never seen you look at anyone the way you look at her. Jiwan sat down heavily. It doesn't matter. This isn't about feelings. It's about politics. Maybe, Taejin said. Or maybe it's about family. Those kids need both of you. And maybe you need each other too. That night, Jiwan couldn't sleep. He walked through the base, thinking. Eventually, he found himself outside the children's quarters. He could hear voices inside. Yuna was talking to her mother. Is Appa going to leave? Yuna asked. I don't know, little one, Queen Aaron said. But we need him, Yuna said. And you need him too. What makes you say that? Queen Aaron asked. Because you're happy when he's around, Yuna said. I can feel it. Through the bond. There was a long silence. Then Queen Aaron said, You're too smart for your age. Will you marry him? Yuna asked. Only if he wants to, Queen Aaron said. I won't force him, but you want to? Yuna pressed. Another silence. Then very quietly, Yes, I do. Jiwan stepped away from the door. His heart was pounding. The queen wanted to marry him, not for politics, but because she wanted to. He thought about the past months, the way she looked at him sometimes, the way she listened when he talked, the way she trusted him with her children. He thought about how he felt when she was injured. The fear, the relief when she survived. Maybe Taejin was right. Maybe this wasn't just about the children anymore. The next morning, Jiwan went to Queen Arin's chambers. She was studying battle plans. Can we talk? He asked. She looked up, surprised. Of course, about the marriage, Jiwan said. I need to know something. If there was no council, no politics, no ancient laws, would you still want this? Queen Arin stood up. She walked to the window looking out at the stars. I don't know, she said honestly. I've been a queen my whole life. I don't know how to separate what I want from what my people need. Try, Jiwan said. She turned to face him. You're infuriating. You know that. You ask impossible questions, and that's not an answer, Jiwan said. Queen Arin stepped closer. Fine. Yes, if there were no politics, no council, no pressure, I would still want this. Because my children love you, because you make me feel less alone, because when I thought I might die, my last thought was hoping you would keep your promise. Jiwan's breath caught. That's a good answer. And you? She asked. What do you want? Before Jiwan could respond, alarms blared again. The base shook violently. Attack! Someone shouted. They ran to the command center. The screen showed a massive enemy fleet. General Kale had found them again. How? Queen Arin demanded. He's tracking us somehow, Nari said. We need to evacuate now. There's no time, a military commander said. They're already in firing range. Queen Erin straightened her shoulders. Then we fight. All ships launch. Protect the evacuation vessels. My queen, we can't win this, Nari said. We don't have to win, Queen Erin said. We just have to survive. Again, Jiwan grabbed her arm. There has to be another way. There isn't, she said. Go, get the children to safety. Not without you, Jiwan said. She looked at him. Then I guess we fight together? And for the first time since they met, Queen Erin smiled. Really smiled. All right, cargo hauler, she said. Show me what humans can do. Part 6, The Marriage Warrant. The battle was chaos. Faulty ships clashed in space around the comet base. Explosions lit up the darkness. Jiwan had never been in a real space battle before. We need to evacuate the civilians, Queen Erin said, directing her forces from the command center. There are too many enemy ships, Nari said. They'll shoot down the transports. Jiwan studied the tactical display. He saw something the Valti military commanders didn't see. A pattern. They're focused on the main hangar, Jiwan said. They expect everyone to leave from there. That's the only large-scale exit, a commander said. No, it's not, Jiwan said. This used to be a mining comet. There are old mining tunnels on the dark side. Small exits. Not big enough for warships to notice. Queen Erin looked at him. Can we evacuate through them? Small ships only, Jiwan said. Fighters, shuttles. It'll take longer, but they won't see us coming. Do it, Queen Erin ordered. The plan worked. While the main hangar launched decoy ships to draw enemy fire, small craft slipped out through the old mining tunnels. The children left with Tajian in a fighter. Jiwan wanted to go with them, but Queen Erin needed him. You think like a survivor, she said. My commanders think like warriors. Different skills. I've spent my life avoiding trouble, Jiwan said. You pick up tricks. Most of the civilians got away. But General Kale's forces were relentless. They surrounded the base completely. We're trapped, Nari said. Then we break through, Queen Erin said. She turned to her remaining warriors. All combat-capable personnel to the ships. We're charging their line. That's suicide, a commander said. It's our only option, Queen Erin said. We break through or die trying. The warriors didn't argue. They moved to their battle stations. Queen Erin headed for her personal fighter. Jiwan followed her to the hangar. I'm coming with you. You're not a pilot, she said. Your ship has a gunner seat, Jiwan said. I can shoot. Have you ever used a plasma cannon? How hard can it be? Jiwan said. Queen Erin almost smiled. You're insane. Learn from the best, Jiwan said. They launched together. 20 Valti fighters against hundreds of enemy ships. The odds were impossible. But they flew anyway. Queen Erin was an incredible pilot. She moved through enemy fire like she could see the future. Jiwan handled the guns, learning as he went. He wasn't good, but he was lucky. Incoming, Queen Erin shouted. 3 enemy fighters were on their tail. Jiwan fired wildly. Somehow he hit one. It exploded in a ball of fire. Not bad for a cargo hauler, Queen Erin said. They punched through the enemy line. Behind them, most of the other fighters made it too. But not all. Jiwan watched 3 ships explode. Good people dying for their queen. They regrouped at a safe distance. Only 14 fighters remained. What now? Nari asked over the comm. We need a base, Queen Erin said. Somewhere Kale can't find us. Everywhere he can find us, a commander said. He has spies in every system. Jiwan had an idea. Not everywhere, Earth. Everyone went quiet. Earth? Queen Erin said. The human homeworld. Kyle's spies are Valti, Jiwan said. They don't operate in human space. And Earth has strict sovereignty laws. The Valti Empire can't just attack there without starting a war with humanity. Would Earth shelter us? Nari asked. I have contacts in the Terran Defense Corps, Jiwan said. It's worth asking. Queen Erin made the decision. Set course for Earth, all ships. The journey took 5 days. 5 days of tense flying, always watching for enemy scouts. But they made it. Earth looked beautiful from space, blue and green covered in clouds. Jiwan hadn't seen it in years. It felt strange to come home. The Terran Defense Corps met them at the outer defense perimeter. After some tense negotiations and Taijin's help from inside the military, they were granted temporary asylum. They landed at a military base in South Korea. The place was heavily guarded, but it was safe. For now, the remaining resistance forces settled into temporary quarters. It wasn't much, but after weeks of running, it felt like paradise. That evening, the council met again. This time, Counselor Day looked grim. "We've lost more than half our forces," he said. "The noble houses are losing faith. Some are making peace with General Kale." "Then we need to act quickly," Queen Aaron said. "We attack the homeworld while we still can." "With what forces?" another counselor asked. "We barely have a dozen ships." "We ask Earth for help," Queen Aaron said. "Earth won't join an alien civil war," Nari said. "Their policy is clear." "Then we need something to change their minds," Queen Aaron said. Counselor Day stood up. "There is one way. The marriage. If the Queen marries a human, Earth will see it as a bond between our peoples. They might help." "That's manipulation," Jiwan said from where he stood in the corner. "That's politics," Counselor Day said. "We need Earth's support. The marriage provides it." "I won't use marriage as a bargaining chip," Queen Aaron said firmly. "Then we lose," Counselor Day said. "And your children die. Is pride worth that?" Queen Aaron's face went white. The counselor had hit a nerve. "There's another option," Nari said quietly. "The ancient marriage warrant. What's that?" Jiwan asked. "A royal decree," Nari explained. "Not a request, but a command. The Queen invokes ancient law and declares the marriage will happen. It's binding." "That's not legal," Queen Aaron said. "It is if the council votes for it," Counselor Day said. "According to ancient law, if 2/3 of the council agrees, the warrant is valid." "You can't be serious," Jiwan said. "We vote," Counselor Day said. "All in favor of invoking the marriage warrant between Queen Aaron and Jiwan Park?" Hands raised around the table. One by one, counselors voted yes. When the count finished, 10 out of 12 had voted in favor. "The warrant is issued," Counselor Day said. "The marriage will occur within 1 lunar cycle." "This is now law," Queen Aaron stood up, her face furious. "You had no right." "We had every right," Counselor Day said. "You are our queen, but the council speaks for all Valti. This marriage will save our people." Jiwan felt numb. He looked at Queen Aaron. She wouldn't meet his eyes. The meeting ended badly. Queen Aaron left without speaking to anyone. Jiwan followed her. He found her on the base's observation deck staring at the Earth below. "I'm sorry," she said when he approached. "I didn't want this." "I know," Jiwan said. "You can still refuse," she said. "Ancient law or not, I won't force you." "What happens if I refuse?" Jiwan asked. "You're exiled from the resistance," Queen Aaron said. "You can never see the children again." "The council's decision?" Jiwan's hands clenched into fists. "So it's not really a choice." "No," she admitted. "It's not." They stood in silence for a long time. Earth rotated slowly below them. Somewhere down there, people were living normal lives. Going to work, eating dinner, watching shows. Simple lives. The life Jiwan used to have. "Can I ask you something?" Queen Aaron said. "Sure, if things were different. If we met at a market or a spaceport. Just 2 normal people. Would you have liked me?" Jiwan thought about it. "Yeah," he said. "I think I would have." Queen Aaron smiled sadly. "That's something at least." "What about you?" Jiwan asked. "Would you have liked me?" "I like you now," she said quietly. "That's the problem. This should just be politics, but it's not. Somewhere along the way I started to care, and that makes this worse." "Why worse?" Jiwan asked. "Because you'll always wonder if it's real," she said, "or if it's just duty. And I'll always wonder if you hate me for trapping you." "I don't hate you," Jiwan said. "I hate the situation." "But not you." Queen Aaron looked at him. "The children are asking when the wedding will be." "They're excited. They don't understand the politics." "We could tell them the truth," Jiwan said. "What truth?" she asked. "That their mother is using you to win a war? That we're both trapped? That's not a truth children need to know." Jiwan stepped closer. "Or we tell them that sometimes adults have to make hard choices. And we're choosing to be a family, for them, and maybe for us too. You're accepting?" Queen Aaron asked, surprise in her voice. "I'm accepting that I don't have a choice," Jiwan said. "But that doesn't mean it has to be miserable. We can make this work. As partners. As friends. Maybe eventually as something more." "You're very optimistic," she said. "I fed 3 alien orphans on a cargo station," Jiwan said. "I'm kind of stupid that way." Queen Aaron laughed. It was a real laugh, the first he'd heard from her. "Yes, you are." The next morning, the announcement went out. Queen Aaron and Jiwan Park would marry in 2 weeks. The ceremony would be broadcast across the Resistance Network. Earth's government sent an official message. They would attend the ceremony. and they would consider providing military support to Queen Erin's cause. The council had been right. The marriage was political, but it was also working. Jiwon spent the days before the wedding with the children. They were thrilled. Yuna picked flowers for the ceremony. Minho studied human marriage traditions. Hana tried to hide how happy she was and failed. "Are you scared?" Hana asked one evening. "Terrified," Jiwon admitted. "Don't be," she said. "Mother is scary sometimes. But she's also kind. She'll treat you well." "I know," Jiwon said. 3 days before the wedding, General Kale's forces found them. Alarms blared across the base. "Enemy ships dropped out of hyperspace above Earth, hundreds of them. How did they find us?" Nari shouted. "Doesn't matter," Taejin said. "They're here." The Terran Defense Corps scrambled their fighters. Earth wouldn't let an alien fleet attack a military base on their soil. But even Earth's military couldn't stop Kale's entire fleet. The battle began, and in the middle of it all, Jiwon made a decision. He found Queen Erin in the Command Cen Part 7, the crown and the heart. The marriage changed everything. News spread across the galaxy within hours. The Valti Queen had married a human. A simple cargo hauler who saved her children. The story became legendary before the battle was even over. Earth's government made an immediate decision. They would defend their soil. And they would support Queen Erin's claim to the throne. The marriage had made it personal. Terran Defense Corps ships poured into the battle. General Kale's forces weren't prepared for human tactics. Humans didn't fight with honor. They fought to win. Jiwon stood beside Queen Erin in the command center, now wearing the ceremonial sash of a Valti prince consort. It felt ridiculous, but the Valti warriors saluted him with respect. "Your people fight well," Queen Erin said, watching the battle displays. "We're stubborn," Jiwon said. "We don't like bullies." Taejin's voice came over the comm. "We've broken their front line. Kale's flagship is retreating. Don't let them escape," Queen Erin ordered. "Press the attack." The battle turned into a rout. Kale's forces scattered. Some surrendered. Others fled into hyperspace. But the damage was done. The general had lost. When the last enemy ship jumped away, cheers erupted across the base. "We won," Nari said, almost disbelieving. "This battle," Queen Erin said. "But not the war. Kale still holds the homeworld. Then we take it back," Jiwon said. Queen Erin looked at him. "We? I'm your husband now," Jiwon said. "That means your problems are my problems." "Right," she smiled. "Right." Over the next month, the resistance grew. News of the marriage spread through Valti space. Noble houses that had surrendered to Kale changed their minds. Soldiers defected from the general's armies. The human who saved the royal children became a symbol. Loyalty over blood. Honor over species. The message resonated. Earth provided ships and supplies. Jiwon helped coordinate between human and Valti forces. He wasn't a military genius, but he understood logistics. He knew how to move things efficiently. Queen Erin led the military planning. She was brilliant at strategy. Together they made an unusual but effective team. The children thrived. Having both parents working together gave them stability they'd never had. Yuna called Jiwon Appa and Queen Erin Oma without any confusion. Hana trained to become a warrior. Minho designed new ship systems. They were a family. Strange and complicated, but real. 6 weeks after the wedding, the fleet was ready. 200 ships, human and Valti together. It was time to retake the homeworld. The night before they launched, Jiwon couldn't sleep. He stood in their quarters looking at the stars. Queen Erin joined him. They'd been sharing quarters since the wedding, though they still slept separately. Neither was quite ready for that level of intimacy. "Nervous?" she asked. "About tomorrow?" "Yes," Jiwon said. "About dying?" "Yes." "About failing the children?" "Very yes." "That's a lot of yes," she said. "I'm a cargo hauler," Jiwon said. "I'm not supposed to be planning invasions." "You're a prince now," Queen Erin reminded him. "I still have my cargo hauler jacket," Jiwon said. "I'm keeping it." Queen Erin laughed. "Good, don't change who you are." "That's what She paused. "What do you what?" Jiwon asked. "What I care about," she finished quietly. Jiwon turned to face her. "Erin." It was the first time he'd used her name. She looked surprised. "I know this started as politics," Jiwon said, "and I know we barely know each other. But I want you to know something." "I'm glad it was you." "Glad it was me?" she asked. "If I had to be forced into marriage to save 3 alien orphans," Jiwon said, I'm glad it was with someone brave and smart and kind. Someone who loves her children enough to do anything, even marry a stranger. Aaron's eyes were bright with unshed tears. You're not a stranger anymore. No, Jiwan agreed. I guess I'm not. They stood close, not quite touching. The moment felt important, like something was shifting between them. Then Yuna burst into the room. Appa Oma, I can't sleep. The moment broke. But Jiwan didn't mind. He picked Yuna up. What's wrong, little one? Aaron asked. I'm scared about tomorrow, Yuna said. What if the bad man hurts you? He won't, Jiwan said firmly. Because we're fighting together. And we're stronger together. Promise? Yuna asked. Promise, Aaron said. They put Yuna to bed in their quarters, letting her sleep between them. Hana and Minho joined eventually. The whole family, crowded on one bed. Jiwan looked at Aaron across the pile of sleeping children. She smiled at him. In that moment, marriage didn't feel like politics. It felt like home. The next morning, the fleet launched. 200 ships against Kale's forces at the homeworld. The battle would be massive. Jiwan flew with Aaron again, manning the guns on her fighter. They'd become a good team. She flew, he shot. Simple and effective, the homeworld appeared ahead. A beautiful planet with purple oceans and silver cities. It was the heart of the Valti Empire, and it was surrounded by enemy ships. All forces, this is Queen Aaron, she broadcast. We take back what is ours. For the Empire. For the future. For our children. The fleet attacked. The battle was bigger than anything Jiwan had seen. Hundreds of ships clashing. Weapons fire everywhere. Explosions lighting up space. But this time they had a secret weapon. Jiwan's suggestion. Human ships used guerrilla tactics. They attacked from unexpected angles. They broke formations. They confused the rigid Valti military strategies. Combined with Aaron's brilliant commands, it worked. Kale's forces were overwhelmed. The general's flagship, the destroyer, tried to escape. But Aaron pursued personally. He's mine, she said coldly. They chased the destroyer through the battle. G1 took out its engines with a lucky shot. The flagship went dead in space. This is Queen Aaron, she broadcast on all channels. General Kale, you are defeated. Surrender your forces. Silence. Then Kyle's face appeared on the screen. He looked older than G1 expected. Tired. I will never surrender to you, Kale said. The Empire needs strength. You make us weak. The Empire needs justice, Aaron said. You murdered my people, my family. That ends today. Then kill me, Kyle said. But the Empire will fall without strong leadership. The Empire will rise, Aaron said. Because strength isn't just military power. It's also compassion, unity, the ability to change. She gestured to Jiwan. This human proved that. He had no reason to help my children. But he did. And his kindness started a revolution. Kyle looked at Jiwan. You, the cargo hauler. That's me, Jiwan said. You're a fool, Kyle said. You could have walked away. Instead, you destroyed everything I built. You built it on murder, Jiwan said. It deserved to be destroyed. Kale's ship suddenly powered up. He was going to self-destruct, taking them with him. Get clear, Jiwan shouted, but Aaron was faster. She fired one perfect shot. It went through Kale's window, not destroying the ship, but neutralizing the threat. The general slumped in his chair. Dead or unconscious, Jiwan couldn't tell. All enemy forces stand down, Aaron broadcast. Your leader is gone. This war is over. One by one, enemy ships stopped firing. Some surrendered, some fled. But the battle ended. They had won. The coronation happened 2 weeks later. Queen Aaron stood in the ancient palace in front of thousands. The crown was placed on her head by the High Counselor. Beside her stood Jiwan, wearing ceremonial robes that felt too fancy. But he was there. The prince consort, the human who changed everything. The children stood nearby, dressed in royal colors. They looked proud and happy. I swear to rule with wisdom, Aaron said in the ancient words. To protect the weak, to honor the ancestors, and to build a future where all beings are equal. The crowd cheered. It was a new empire, built on different values. After the ceremony, there was a massive celebration. Jiwan tried to enjoy it, but he felt out of place. He was a prince now, but he didn't feel like one. Taejin found him on a balcony. Congratulations, Your Highness. Don't, Jiwan said. I'm still just me. You're the most famous human in the galaxy, Taejin said. The man who married a queen. I just fed some hungry kids, Jiwan said. And changed the course of history, Taejin said. Don't sell yourself short, Aaron joined them. She'd removed her crown. Without it, she looked more like the woman he knew. Less queen, more person. Hiding from your own celebration? She asked. It's too crowded, Jiwan said. I know what you mean, Aaron said. She looked at Taejin. Can you give us a moment? Taejin left with a knowing smile. Aaron stood beside Jiwan at the railing. Below, the capital city glowed with lights. People were celebrating. The war was over. Peace had returned. I want to thank you, Aaron said. For what? Jiwan asked. For everything, she said. For saving my children. For staying when you could have run. For marrying me even though you were trapped. For helping me win a war. You would have won anyway, Jiwan said. Maybe, Aaron said, but it would have cost more lives. Your tactics saved thousands. Your presence united the houses. You were essential. I just suggested some stuff, Jiwan said, embarrassed. You did more than that, Aaron said. She took his hand. You showed me that strength comes in many forms. I was so focused on military power, I forgot about the power of kindness. My parents used to say that, Jiwan said quietly. Before they died, they said kindness was the strongest weapon. They were right, Aaron said. They stood in comfortable silence. Then Aaron asked, Do you work